See. Hey, I'm Coach Mel with Grow Better Coaching. Just want to give each and every person a chance to kind of step on here. It's a live, but it's also going to be done as a podcast also. All right, so I am Coach Mel. I'm with Grow Better Coaching, Life Empowerment Coaching. You can find me www.growbettercoach.com, or you can email me at gbwithcoachmel@gmail.com. All right, so if any of you got a chance to listen to me or see me last week, at the end of the session, I set some goals. The goals were I was going to spend an hour Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m. I was going to take 1 hour and use that as just some dedicated time towards Grow Better, my business. Regardless of what it looked like, whether it was the podcast or if it was going to be something else that has to do with the goal sessions that are coming up pretty soon this May. Well, Friday, I completely forgot. Simple as that. It happens. And what happens when you set goals and you don't achieve them, when you look back, you can see things, little markers of ways that you could have done better. And what you do with those little markers is what matters. Do you use those markers, those little things that you figured out, as a way to really, really get into it and try better? Sorry, I'm going to be trying out my microphone. It is a new microphone, as you can probably tell, because I'm trying it out. And I want to do it live while I'm live, because I want to be able to listen back to the recording and see if there's really that much of a difference with a live recording, not just the regular recording that would come onto my computer or the regular recording that would come onto my phone, but the actual recording of me doing the live recording on StreamYard for my podcast. This going through Facebook and other places like that. So hopefully it's going to work out a little better and the sound will be a little bit better. Let's see if I can get this set up. I think it automatically turns on when I set it up. I tried it the other day and it seemed to work fairly well. Okay, here we go. All right. So my goals were to spend that hour between 6:30 and 8:30. Well, Friday I didn't. It happens. Now I know some things I need to work on. Some little different ways, whether it's post it somewhere or set a reminder. There's different things I can do to be able to better manage my time. But Friday was an eventful week. I had been working a job for about 10 months, and I found something more in line with my long-term goals. This really is really exciting for me. Not only is it more in line with long-term goals, it is also about 20 minutes closer each way, and I've been driving an hour. This past week, I had the exit interview. Oh, let me tell you though, my last few days where I worked was nice. I got people seemed like they were going to miss seeing me around and stuff. And that was nice. It's nice to feel that way. I had the exit interview. Never have I heard of having an exit interview when you're leaving a job. But I had the exit interview. And my main thing going in there was I was going to be honest. Overall, The people are great. There's some things I didn't agree with. I didn't think was very, very good. So I was going to be honest about those. Whether I think it's going to do any good or not, that's not in my hands. But even the teeny tiny little corrective criticism, couple of things that I made, I felt so bad. I felt like, oh my gosh, I was so ashamed that I had said something wrong that I didn't agree with. And it's okay to be honest. I wasn't out to hurt anybody. And what I said didn't hurt anybody. It was just my honest opinion on a couple of things. You know, I will miss some of the people there. There were some people that were just really good people. I do kind of wonder why they're still working there based on some other stuff that I've come to find out. But a job is for a paycheck. You're not trying to win an Oscar or a Grammy or some other kind of huge award. You're just trying to get a paycheck, apparently. I got a day off in between my last job and this job, which it was nice. I enjoyed the kind of a break in between to maybe reset my mind a little. It was a rainy, dreary, cold day. That's fine too. The first day, Thursday, I went in and it was information overload. No doubt. So much information. It's learning a whole new system, a system I've never had any kind of experience with at all whatsoever. It's retraining my brain on different ways to enter information, where to go to find information. And it's tough. It's tough. I do like that they use Microsoft Teams as a way to kind of correspond with each other in the office. I do have to say there was a few little anxious moments. One of them, the girl that's training me, real sweet girl that's training me. It was after lunch and we're sitting there. I'm kind of pulled up to her desk. And when we're sitting there, it felt like the walls were about to come in on me. I was sweating. I was clammy. I wanted to just get up and walk and not stop until I got into my front seat and into my driveway and then into my house. And several years ago, it's probably what I would have done. I would allow the anxiety to take over. I've had a lot of work. I've done a lot of work on myself, on my own and in group settings. So I've come a long way. It's easier now. And what I did was I was sitting there. I tuned out what this girl was saying and anything else really that was going on. I focused on not my surroundings, but I focused on my surrounding, just right here, right around me, right in front of me. What is right there? And I just took all my focus onto that and looked at the different colors and looked at what the different textures look like, whatever it was in front of me. I put all my focus on that. Then I was able to kind of take a deep breath and get out of that anxious moment. It doesn't always work that easily. And that's another thing I need to figure out. Is there something else I could do to kind of maybe help myself out when stuff like that happens? And there are. You learn things. You learn different ways to deal with different situations. So yesterday was my second day, and it was a lot better because I had a little bit of the bones and structure of what was really going to be going on. So that made it a lot easier. I knew more people, so that was a little easier. I was more prepared for the day, going there, everything. It was just, everything was a little easier walking into it. I was still nervous. I was still kind of apprehensive, feeling like I'm not going to be able to do this because it's a lot of information. While I was there, I did get a chance to, answer some phone calls, find solutions for the people that were calling. I did get a chance to learn a little bit more stuff. I sat in the front office for a little bit because they like for us to be cross-trained, which is good. I sat in the front office, and then I was back with the girl that was training me for the most part. And she went down a list to try to figure out what she's gone over, what I was comfortable with. And one thing I really like about her is, and this place, is that if they're not feeling like they're training in a way that I'm feeling like I'm learning from, they'll find a different way. Like with the front office and the phone calls and the customer service aspect of it, the customer service lead was the one that was going to kind of sit with me a little bit to go over some stuff in that area. Because even though the medical assistant that's training me is really good talking to patients and knowing how to get around the system, she's not the best in that category, and she wanted me to be trained by someone that was a little more experienced in that category. I thought that was nice. She wasn't afraid to say, you know what, I'm not as good as she is, so I think she should train you. I really like that because people are not in competition. I've worked at a lot of places that people are constantly in competition with other people, constantly biting, trying to throw other people under the bus, going back behind somebody's back and pointing out what they did this way or that way, or, I told them to do this, but they didn't. I don't feel a competitive type feel here. I didn't feel that in my last place either, so that was good too. Everybody that I've worked with so far has been great. I did get a chance to be around the girl that I'm going to be working with in the city I'll be working in after training, which was nice. I met her in one of the interviews, and then I talked to her a little bit yesterday and got a chance to kind of see about how she is and everything. And that's fine too. Seems to be a good place. It is more in line with my long-term goals. So that's, I do get to wear different colors. Last place I worked, they had to be black, dark gray, or red, which is fine. Here, you can wear pretty much whatever color. They don't want a bunch of different patterns or loud, wild colors. That's understandable. But, so it was nice. So today, me and Richard went out, and after sitting on 85, 20 minutes to go 4 miles, I may be exaggerating a little bit. We got to the place that I got some more work clothes. It was nice. It was just, life is good. Got some more work clothes. He got some things. Put out some cards. I ordered some postcard like things. I'm one of those people that put things on people's windshields. Me and him both did, and I really appreciate that because I have a teammate. I don't have a fiance. I have a team member. We're on the same team, and we do things together. If he has something he's working on, I'm working on it with him. If I have something I'm working on, he's working on it with me. It's awesome. And we both have our own space. All that too. So it works amazingly. Anyway, I kind of got off somewhere. Put some cards out. They weren't like postcard size. They were a little bigger than postcard size. But they were talking about, because I know y'all have heard me talk about the free virtual 8-week goal session in May. If you haven't heard me talk about that, just know there's a free virtual 8-week goal session that's going to include some mindfulness, and it's going to be in May. If you go to my website, growbettercoach.com, then you can sign up for it. Starts mid-May. It's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. If you want to go on Saturday, go on Saturday. Sunday's going to be the same thing for that week. If you have more questions, just go on the website, look at it, sign up, send me an email, ask me questions. One-on-one is a lot easier to explain than to go into the explanation while I'm right here. It's 8 weeks. First 6 weeks are going to be virtual. The second 2 weeks, you're on your own, but have access to contact me or other people in the group, however you want to do it. All right. So that's my little plug for that I'm probably going to do it every podcast that I do and live that I do. A lot this week, I've been thinking a lot about the feelings and facts. In recovery, I learned feelings aren't facts. Feelings are not facts. I've done some posts about that already on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Feelings are not facts. A feeling is more like an opinion. Y'all get that? A feeling is an opinion. It may be as a result of some facts, but it's not the facts. And something that makes me sad is based on me as a person. Something that makes me angry is based on me as a person. Something that I fear is based on me as a person. So, in my opinion, that event, word, action, thought causes fear. In my opinion, that causes fear. Now, in Richard's opinion, it might not cause fear. In your opinion, that doesn't cause fear. A scenario, okay. If you're going to work, okay, just say that I was going to work and I work at that place 10 months. I worked at that place 10 months and I went in towards the end of my time there, and a girl that I see, and every time I see her, she speaks to me. Well, I saw her and she wasn't speaking to me. Then for me to automatically base things on feelings, it might be like, why is she not speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? Feeling a guilt. Feeling guilty because somebody didn't speak to me, even though if I look at the facts, well, no, I haven't done anything wrong. I've been the same person the whole time, so she has no reason to be upset with me. So I know the feeling of guilt is a real feeling, but it has no grounding. It shouldn't be there because it's not legitimately lining up with the facts of what's really going on. So you could have the feeling of guilt when the fact is you haven't done anything wrong. People in recovery have a saying, and I'm sure it's other people too, but I just heard it in recovery, so I say people in recovery do. Keep your side of the street clean. Keep your side of the street clean. As long as your side of the street is clean, then you don't have to worry about anything else on anybody else's side of the street. Kind of like that whole, there's two types of shit in this world, my shit and not my shit. That's not my shit. Okay, so if my side of the street is clean, then if somebody comes at me sideways and I know I didn't do anything wrong, then all of that stuff that's going on is within them. And I don't have to have an emotional reaction. I can have a factual reaction. It takes time. It takes thought. All right. Fear of rejection. That's one of the fears growing up in school. I was covered in a fear of rejection. The fact is, I'm enough. I am enough. And if people are rejecting me, then they're not the people that are supposed to be in my life. There's a Medea movie that talks about people are like trees or something. I'm sorry, I got it all wrong. But look it up. Tyler Perry, and there's a part of a Medea movie. Medea Goes to Jail, the play. Anyway, there's people that are going to come into your life that are like the leaves of a tree that they just kind of blow in and out. The limbs that they break or whatever. And there's the people that are the trunk and the roots. You have all types of those people in your life. And you can't expect some leaves to be a root. So you don't have to fear the rejection of people because they're not your roots. You get what I'm saying? You can feel alone. I sat in a meeting one day, and there was probably about 15 to 20 people in there, and it wasn't a very big room, but I was sitting in the room, towards the back of the room, and I felt so entirely alone. Alone. No, like I just alone. That's the most loneliness feeling that I just blatantly just recall feeling. I felt alone in a room full of people. Well, the fact is, I had a support system. A lot of them were limbs and leaves, but they were the support system for that moment. I was not alone. There were people in that room. There was at least a handful of people in that room. None of them wanted me to do bad, but there was at least a handful of them that were pushing me and wanting and really, really rooting for me to do good. I was not alone. Anger, another feeling. This one is tough because most of the time when people act out in anger, it feels completely justified. It feels like that, they have every right, every right to be angry. Well, when you're angry, most of the time when I have a reaction and I become angry, if I really try to think, is it justified? No. If it is somewhat justified, is it personal? Did this happen personally towards me? And I also have to think in about 6 months, is it really going to be that serious? And if in 6 months, I'm probably not even going to think about it. If I do, then maybe, there is stuff that people do that make you angry that you really, really have a legitimate reason to be angry. It doesn't mean you act out in anger because there's consequences to actions. If you base your actions and reactions on feelings, you can cause wounds that cannot heal. First response when you're feeling, though, is to take some deep breaths, refocus, think about what's ahead of you, what's behind you, what's around you. Think about not focusing on the future and focusing on the past, but just like what's in front of you. Just think about your surroundings, think about things, breathe. I haven't done anything wrong. I am enough. This is not personal. I've got people that love me. No, there's consequences to my actions. Are my feelings lining up with the facts? If your feelings are lining up with the facts, not just the facts you see, but a good bit of them that other people see too, get some perspective from other people. If your feelings are lining up with the facts, hey, go with it. If your feelings are not lining up with the facts, base your actions and reactions on the facts. And I've been saying reactions, but I really think if you're basing it on facts, it's not a reaction. It's a response. You're responding. Without support and mindfulness, I was not able to grow in this area. Life can be so much like a roller coaster. You get caught up in your feelings that you lose sight. It brings so much unnecessary pain and discomfort. It'll have you in relationships you're not supposed to be in. You can't be so afraid that you'll feel bad to keep you from cutting ties with people. You can't let the fact that you feel love for another person allow them to keep abusing you, putting their hands on you, or telling lies about you, or just using you. It's like with relationships, think about it like this. There's a cord between you and other people, friendship, family, significant other. There's these cords. These cords. Those cords have power running through them. Now, is the cord plugging into the receptacle on your side alone? Are you the only one putting power out and just constantly feeding power into that relationship, friend, family, whatever? Or are you getting it back? Is it a two-way cord? Is the cord going both ways? Is that a two-way street? If it's not a two-way street, it's okay to cut it. It's okay. I've deleted some people. I say deleted them off my Facebook. I've unfriended some people. That does not mean I wish them harm. That does not mean I don't care about what goes on with them. It was a symbolic, basically, because I could have just unfollowed them. But it was more for me. It was more symbolic for me to unfriend that person, to be done with my involvement in a friendship with that person. It took a while, but I had come to the realization that this person is not my friend. This person is just somebody that was a leaf, and I'm trying to make them into a root. Whew. I hadn't thought about it like that, though. That was a leaf, and I'm trying to make them into a root. They're still a completely fine person. They're still want good and all that stuff, but they're not a root. So try to figure out who's supposed to be in your life and who isn't. Don't allow, but I love that person. She's so sweet. She's just such a good person. She's got so much going on. I want so good for her. That's okay. And it's okay to want that for everybody. It's okay to unplug from somebody and still want that for them. That's fun. Also, acting out on your feelings, that can lead to a whole lot of self-destructive behaviors, addiction, illicit drug use that leads to addiction, alcoholism, binge eating, eating disorders, self-harm, harming others, can lead to suicidal thoughts and actions. Acting out of your feelings can lead to so much hurt with yourself and others. Feelings are not facts. And if the facts do line up with your feelings, and it really is legitimately a reason to be having these issues, then it may be time to try to set some boundaries. Try to find a new solution. Set some goals. Think about things that you really want to do. Think about ways to change the situation you're in, even if you change the fact that you're in that situation. If you're so uncomfortable and hurt in a situation that you're in, change the fact that you're in that situation. Get out of it. Easier said than done. So much easier said than done. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of people. So don't just up and go out into this world and say, you know what? I heard that girl that I don't even really know who she is, but I heard her and she said some good things. And so when she said me to get up and leave, I got up and left, and now I'm homeless and helpless and broke. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But you can make some small changes up here. And if you want to talk about that or whatever, get in touch with me. Find somebody that you trust. Talk to them. Find some solutions. There are solutions. Most of the time, we are the solution. I'm my own worst enemy. I can probably guarantee you're your worst enemy. So don't be acting out on feelings, causing these self-destructive behaviors. Mine has been addiction. Mine has been relationships, eating, self-harm. It's isolation. Isolation is self-destructive because you're not really tapping into the relationship, the emotional part of your body that gets encouraged by other relationships. If you're isolating, it can lead to more stress or depression and anxiety, mental breakdowns. Your feelings, acting out on your feelings can destroy you. It can destroy those around you. You have so many more reasons to base your actions on facts rather than feelings. Now, feelings do have a purpose. They can be used as warning signs and guides through life. Okay, you touch a stove, the physical feeling is hot. You know it's hot, so you don't keep touching it. You, let me keep listening to the same song over and over again. You know it gets you anxious and frustrated and focused to do something self-destructive. You keep listening to it over and over again. Okay, no. If those feelings, if you're getting anxiety and harmful thoughts, then those feelings have a purpose to back you away of that situation or that activity. They should not be taken as facts. Feelings should not ever be taken as facts. There's never any reason to think that because you feel it, it's real. Because just because you feel it does not mean it's real. Does not mean anybody else feels it. If you really, really want to try to narrow it down some, get one of those little charts that has all those feelings on it. Because I don't know if you're like me, you can look at those charts and you can look at it with a smile and like everything's wonderful and happy. But you see the one that the person, the little face looks like they're just broken, hurting inside. And you can feel that on the inside, even if you're not showing it. But you don't base your interactions with others on the feeling that you're broken. All right, so if me and my mother are getting into arguments and we're fussing, my nose looks so crooked right here. It's the shadow, I swear. It is a little crooked, I'm sure. But it is a little sad. I mean, shadow. But so if me and my mother are constantly getting in arguments, that doesn't give me any right to act out towards other people in an angry way based on my feelings if they didn't do anything to me. If I want to avoid the situation and avoid her, that's fine. Okay, another scenario. Me and having a hard time at work, having the anxiety at work. I didn't get up and leave my job because, well, I wouldn't have a job then. And the fact is, I was bringing in a lot of information. I was, it's a lot easier to do real situations instead of like the made up one, like my mother, the argument. The fact is, it was a lot of information. I was in a small room. I do have problems with anxiety at times. I do have situations where I feel like I'm going to run. I do know that was not one of those situations. that I should have. I knew that that was not the right response. I didn't base my actions on my feelings. I based my actions on facts. It's a lot of information, and I'm buckling a little. Regroup. My action was to regroup. When I was being honest in my exit interview, I didn't base my actions on feelings. I was feeling bad. I was a little anxious. I could have just answered everything good, or excellent. Everything's fine. I don't see any room for change. Everything's perfect. I could have. But then I would have had a really bad feeling because I would have been dishonest. So I chose honesty and went ahead and did the right thing. Whether anything's going to come of it or not, I don't know. But that's not my shit. When I used to get high, I didn't like the way it made me feel. For the most part, I didn't like it at all. But instead of getting high, I didn't like the way I felt sober even more. So I would get high and not care that I felt like shit, rather than feel like shit and not know how to act, not know what to do or how to deal with it. So glad I've got a little bit of some therapy and some other tools and stuff under my belt, and a huge support, strong support. It's not huge, but the few people in my family and in my life that are very supportive, that's a strong support system. Very strong support system. So don't base your actions on feelings. Base them on facts. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I want everybody to take some time, give me some feedback, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, wherever it may be. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear about. I'm going to try to get somebody else to kind of join in on one of these podcasts one day. You know, I haven't really fully made my decision about what I really want to go, how I really want to go that way. I'm going to try to, bring in some boundaries this next week, about boundaries and different saying no, and times to say no, when it's good, when it's bad, when it's okay. I'm probably not going to be able to get a lot of content on that because to me it's pretty cut and dry. But listening to other people, I know is really not. But I've come a long way for it to be a little more cut and dry. So go to my website, www.growbettercoach.com, or email me gbwithcoachmel@gmail.com. Sign up for the 8-week goal session. There's going to be mindfulness exercise goal session, healthy habit homework. It's going to be pretty simple, but it's going to be there for the encouragement and helping yourself and each other. Find me, social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, but I don't really get on there much. But I hope everybody has a great Easter tomorrow. Tomorrow is Easter. This is also about the time of year in 2000, April 19th, 2000, that I got clean where I really wanted to get clean. I stayed clean 5.5 years. I got clean I went to a treatment called the Golden Rule in Monk, Georgia. It was great. It helped me so much. And then I stayed at the halfway houses with them. And then I moved on, and I did good for a while. But, one thing led to another. Complacency, fear, rejection, all these feelings based on feelings not focused on a support system, not focused on the facts. And eventually I fell back into my old behaviors. But it was about this time. So, I mean, sometimes around April 19th, I think, like this year, April 19th, I don't really do it anymore. But I know in like 2012, I remember that thinking, man, I'd be 12 years clean right now. Now, April 19th, I'd be 21 years clean. I would be 21 years clean this April 19th had I stayed clean. Instead, I'm still going to be 8.5 years clean. And that's okay, because this time and this difference is so big. I have so many more goals, so many more ways to achieve these goals. People supporting me. I have a significant other that we work together. He took the dog to get the nails trimmed while she's rotten, while I'm getting this stuff ready. You know, it's just really, we work together. We're a true team. We move in unison, but not in unison to the point that we're like side by side all the time. Unison to the point that we're both working in the same direction, and we both want each other to succeed, and we both have the same goals and mindset to a certain extent. We both got the same mindset. But while he's working on this, I can be working on that, but we're still working on the same thing. We're still working in unison. And that's amazing. It's just amazing. It took a long time to find it. So I hope each and every one of you has an amazing Easter. I hope you realize that where you are is right where you're supposed to be. And take that into consideration and be happy. Be happy if the facts are right. If you're in a situation that you don't need to be in, that is really a harmful situation for you or someone else you love, pray, talk to people, find a solution, and try to make a difference and do something better in your life. If you can help somebody that's in that kind of situation, help them. But let me tell you, something I learned is Richard was going through some struggles, some frustrations and stuff recently. And of course, I'm like, you can talk to me. He can, absolutely. He can tell me anything. It would not change anything about anything I think about him or what we've grown into. He can. But that might not be the way he copes with stuff. I cannot expect somebody to deal with a situation the way I think they should. So I think talking about it for me may be good. But for that person, if it doesn't help them, then I can't help somebody the way I want to help them unless that's the way that they want help. So help somebody the way they need it, help somebody the way they accept it, and help somebody the way they appreciate it. It's not about you. Have an amazing week. I will hop on maybe a morning one. I'm not sure yet. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I know I'll post a little bit here and there. I hope you have a good week. Thank you all for taking a minute to listen, even if you didn't listen for long. I see little numbers 1, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0. That's okay. Because if nothing else, this is practice for me. And maybe somebody else gets to hear something they needed to hear. Have an amazing evening, an amazing day tomorrow, and a most powerful week. Goodbye.